Move over 5 to 2. There's an easy new diet, and this time you'll watch the clock, not the calories. You'd have had to have been living in some far-flung place not to have heard the buzz around 5 to 2. A diet format based on what's known as intermittent fasting. The idea is that you eat normally during 5 days of the week, then reduce your calories to 500 for the other 2 days. Some have resolutely stayed with the format, while others have fallen by the wayside, finding it too tough to stick to on the fasting days, plus they have overindulged during the 5 days, undoing all the good work from fasting days anyway. I've heard stories of fasting day survival tips that include drinking diet drinks all day long, chewing gum incessantly, or simply storing up the calories for an evening binge. Clearly, those tactics were never the intended approach of the original researchers, nor book writers. But fasting has now gone mainstream, and there's more on offer than just one approach. The new favorite is 16 to 8, where you spend 2/3 of every day fasting, but bear in mind this includes hours of sleep. In the simplest terms, what you need to do is widen the gap between meals to allow your body to tap into fat reserves more easily. So, 16 and 8 refer to hours of fasting and non-fasting within a day. Typically, this means finishing dinner at 8 p.m. and not eating until 12 noon the next day. However, some people choose to stop eating at 4 p.m. and have breakfast as normal the next day. The 16 to 8 approach is the only fasting method that doesn't require calorie counting. For those who struggle with the dieting mentality, or for people who struggle to get by on just 500 to 600 calories in a day, it seems an altogether simpler approach. Concentrating calorie intake into an 8-hour period enhances weight loss because you eat less overall and your body has tapped into its fat reserves during the 16-hour fasting window. As is always the case, there's still a degree of common sense required. Simply cramming as many calories as possible into the 8 slender hours won't work. I have certainly found it more effective for clients in my clinic, where I recommend following 16 to 8 for 6 days a week, taking a break on a Sunday. The average fat loss is around 2 pounds a week, often more. Some people may worry that skipping breakfast is actually bad for the metabolism. This is a myth based on what's known as the thermic effect of food. No matter what time of day you eat, your metabolism is raised a little by the action of digesting the food. Over and above that simple fact, research on fasting seems to show that eating less often, like the 16 to 8, could actually boost your metabolic rate. In one study, conducted at the University of Nottingham, a 2-day-long fast boosted resting metabolic rate by 3.6%. It may sound very small, but in many ways, weight loss occurs through an accumulation of these marginal gains. Fasting diets, whether you stick with 5 to 2 or give the 16 to 8 fast a try, also help you to recognize the difference between physical hunger and hunger that you feel out of habit or compulsion. By ignoring hunger signals for a few hours at a time, you start to find it easier to recognize the difference between real hunger and habit hunger, and only eat when your body is truly hungry. If you need to remind yourself why fasting trumps traditional weight loss in health terms, consider this: if someone told you there was a simple, no-cost way to reduce your risk of diabetes, cancer and heart disease and keep you looking and feeling young, you'd be tempted to try it, wouldn't you? Especially when the unwanted pounds melt away in the process. When it comes to the impact on your workout regime, it pays to listen to the most avid 16 to 8 followers, body-conscious gym types looking to build lean mass and lose fat, with the goal of achieving a shredded or ripped physique. While workouts are done in the fasted state, the biggest meal of the day is right after the workout. Some people also take branched-chain amino acid supplements to maximize levels of growth hormone and kickstart the muscle-building process. I'd recommend sticking to shorter duration workouts during fasting time, rather than longer cardio-based workouts where you will simply run out of energy. High-intensity interval training of about 20 minutes is ideal. Amanda Hamilton is a nutritionist and best-selling author of Fasting Guide Eat, Fast, Slim, Duncan Baird, £8.99. See Express Bookshop on page 81. Amanda also runs health retreats around Europe. See more at amandahamilton.com. Top tips when you begin the 16-8 fast. Most people feel hungry at the usual meal times, though many are not hungry in the mornings. If you fast in the mornings, your work won't suffer. Research shows fasting helps us concentrate, as long as it doesn't go on too long. When you eat well. Don't cut major food groups and stick to unprocessed ingredients naturally low in sugar. Make sure your last meal of the day contains protein, fiber and slow-releasing, low-GI, carbs. Ideally, include a soup starter at the first mealtime of your 8-hour window and follow with a healthy balanced meal. The 16-8 structure is both safe and well-balanced, so no more fasting hours are needed. Stick to the format for best results. Unless you are very active, limit portions of whole grains or potatoes to the size of a clenched fist at mealtimes. Fill up on fruit and veg. Include a healthy source of protein with each meal and snack. A cup of tea or coffee with milk is fine during the fasting window, as are herbal teas and water. Watch more videos at video.5la.net.